Hello, sports fan. This is Stevie D with Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. I'm going to be covering what a Sunday for the Saints. Before I get right into that, I want to make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you can get all the updates and all the breakdowns. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Looking at the Saints as they lost to the Carolina Panthers, and then after the game, falling to 2-7, they fired their head coach, Dennis Allen, and you look exactly what left behind. You also got to keep in mind, Michael Thomas was tweeting up a storm. He didn't use not one comma in all of his tweets and things like this, but he was tweeting up a storm. He was tweeting at the Saints. He was tweeting at Olave, who was injured with a concussion after a bad throw from Derek Carr. He was tweeting about Derek Carr, to Derek Carr. There was so much going on. It's so much going on in New Orleans. And you just got to ask yourself, after losing to the Carolina Panthers, which you drummed up and beat them the first week like they was school children, and you got to ask yourself, what's next for the team that has next to last and nothing to do with salary cap? They mismanaged the draft. They paid the wrong players. They're now paying players that are not on the team for years to come. And you just got to ask yourself, what is going to be the building block for this team? What is going to be the next step to get the New Orleans Saints out of this salary cap hell? What is going to get to hit the reset button? Because you got to think about this. You have aging stars on the Saints team. Alvin Kamara is your best player, essentially your best asset. And you got to think, you paid him a little bit of money, but is he really going to be there for the next 2 or 3 years? Or are you going to have to get off him because of salary cap issues? You got to think, Derek Carr, you brought him here to be the savior of the franchise, and he doesn't have anything. He's wildly sporadic. He's injured most of the time. And when he is playing, he doesn't give you top quarterback play. You're looking at a wide receiving core that can't stay healthy. Olave is good, but he continuously stays injured. Your defense is older in the tooth, and you got to think your defense is not going to save you in a lot of different situations because they're spectacular when they have a lead. You never have a lead anymore. You've had 2 games where you really busted out like gangbusters. That was game 1 against Carolina and game 2 against Dallas Cowboys. You got an Atlanta Falcons team licking their chops to come in and kick your ass right now, and you got to think there's something in the water that's not right. And if you think firing a head coach is going to be it, I don't think I think you're tone deaf. So you got to keep in mind Michael Thomas and what he was saying got the organization's attention. It got Derek Carr's attention, and he even went into a full soliloquy when he was getting interviewed after the game. Michael Thomas reached out and essentially said, hey, Derek Carr, you got me hurt. You got Olave hurt with these bad throws. What are you doing? And you're a hater. So it's a number of things that's brewing in the locker room. You got to think. Cam Jordan walked off on the team on Sunday. It's a number of things that just happened. There's no discipline in the locker room. There's no leadership voice in the locker room. And now you're fixed to pick up the pieces mid-season because you had to make a coaching move. And at 2-7, who really expects the Saints to come back and either win the NFC South or either make the playoffs? Not me. Matter of fact, I beg you, put a betting wager on them making the playoffs. You'll be a multi-thousandaire. But New Orleans dug this hole for themselves. Bad transactions, bad salary cap moves, signing players that they didn't need to sign, not allowing players to go where they needed to go, and holding on to something that they was trying to recreate. Like Sean Payton's not there anymore. So you got to ask yourself, how long are we going to hold on to Taysom Hill? He's not a starting quarterback. He plays tight end and gadget for you guys. How long are you going to hold on to Cam Jordan, who's declining? You know, the cornerback situation in New Orleans. Get rid of him. Go younger. Go cheaper. The safety position, same thing. You have a lot of veteran guys on the Saints. A lot of guys who essentially wouldn't start anywhere else right now because they're older. They're not first-round rep people. They're maybe second or third rep guys that are second on the depth chart, third in the depth chart because they're not starting right now. It's time to hit the reset button in New Orleans. It's just a question of if ownership is going to follow suit and do what they need to do, or are they going to try to put Band-Aids over what needs surgery? Definitely check out Sports Choice Plus for all the updates and all the banter. Definitely get in the comment section below, and we see you on the very next episode, guys.